think you're smart, do you? You're feeling really pleased with yourself because you've got Doom 4 running all smooth and buttery on your modern gaming PC. Has it got one of those aliens on the side that flashes to say that it's Alienware? Well, I don't care because I've got the original Doom running on my Game Boy Advance SP. I mean, yeah, it's maybe not the same, but it's still a damn good port. As you know, I recently acquired a GBA SP, and I absolutely love it to bits. The quality of the graphics on it, just the screen is just beautiful. And this is a particularly good port of Doom. It really does feel like you're playing the PC version. It's just fantastic. I did briefly try to record the GBA SP screen myself because I was feeling so pleased with how it looked. Needless to say, it didn't look quite as good on the camera. It's a very fine skill recording handhelds using the camera pointing at the screen. For one thing, I couldn't use the strafe buttons, and I was also having to look through the viewfinder to see where I was going, which was really hurting my eyes. But nevertheless, you get the idea if I record it via an emulator, don't you? It just to show you that it's a very nice looking port. And I think Doom is the perfect game to play on a handheld, really. It's one of those games that you can kind of, especially if you know it pretty well, you can dip in and out of. Just play it for a little bit while you're on the train or the bus or whatever, and then stop playing. Now, obviously everybody's kind of interested again in Doom at the moment because of the, Doom 4 release, which is kind of just missing me because I don't have a modern PC and I don't have a modern console either. But I've actually been recently enjoying the Doom games all afresh because of the... it actually took me quite a while to get to that, but to get to the Brutal Doom mod. It's been around for ages, and I know a lot of YouTubers have done videos of gameplay using the Brutal Doom mod. For some reason I'd never really used it, but it's fantastic, and if you've not seen it before and not tried it, have a look on YouTube at some videos and give it a go yourself, because it really transforms the game. I mean, when I first played this back in the day, I must have been very, very young. It seemed amazingly gory. But actually, by modern day standards, it probably isn't all that gory. But the cool thing about Brutal Doom is it adds in a really over-the-top, kind of fun though, levels of gore so that everybody explodes, and the enemies, when they die, they'll lie on the ground begging for mercy and things. Kind of Rise of the Triad style. If you've played Rise of the Triad, you kind of know the flavour that I'm talking about. In that game, there was a lot of extra levels of gore that you didn't quite have in Doom. And it's customizable as well. You've got different gore options in it, so it just makes it really good. It's fantastic that they've managed to put a port of this onto the Game Boy Advance. Really awesome. I know that they've also got some other modern FPSs on there as well. I think they've got Duke Nukem 3D, which is another absolute classic. I'm not sure what else. I don't think we had Quake, did we? I could be mistaken. I'm very bent today on this. No comments. Oh god, secret. Yeah, Duke Nukem 3D I need to check out, because that's another great game. But yeah, Quake would be fantastic. As would... Oh god, I'm exploding that barrel. As would a version of Wolf 3D. Another gem that kind of preceded these games. Yeah, I mean, all of the ID games have been quite heavily modded, and I think that's a fantastic example of what can happen if you're generous with your sourceware and you share it. It actually almost immortalizes the game. Doom, even to this day, has not got old. People are still modding the original games, and that's because of how awesome the team were with the source code. There are some fantastic videos on YouTube, actually. One really good one by IGN, essentially playing through these first levels with John Romero. Which is just fantastic to hear his thoughts on how he was designing the levels. Now, Doom is a classic example of abstract level design, where it's not kind of given to you on a plate, so you have to sort of figure out where to go as you go along. And if you're not paying attention, you can end up getting lost searching endlessly for the next key card or whatever, but most people know it by now. And here we are, the best weapon in the game. It's the shotgun. Well, I think it's the best weapon in the game. Arguably, the chainsaw is very fun as well. The shotty is just the classic FPS gun because it feels stodgy. It has real impact to it when you take people down, and that's what I love about it. But yeah, I mean, John Romero is talking about how he actually, I think, designed the first level last, because after you sort of coded all the other levels and designed them, you're kind of probably better at it than you were at the beginning. And he purposefully tried to make the first few levels really eye-catching so that people, you know, would want to carry on and play more. And I think, you know, these levels must be amongst the most played FPS levels ever. But they still look great to me. They still feel delicious. So yeah, I'm having a bit of a Doom playthrough binge. I need to go. I've got almost all the way through Doom 1. I need to then go through Doom 2, and for the first time play Doom 3. One that just, again, passed me by, probably because I didn't have a system that could play it. I actually picked up Doom 3 for the Xbox 360, no, the Xbox version, sorry, but completely free at Play Expo. It was just on a table there of gifts from one of the companies that I signed up with. So that is ready to go. I believe it feels quite different to these games, so I'm not sure how I'll receive it. I think there's a lot of jump scares and things in it, but you know, I think it is a good game, and it is certainly a more modern version. I'm just not that fussed with modern games, really. Same with Quake. I loved Quake 3. I just wasn't that bothered when Quake 4 came out. I don't know why, but it just feels to me like trying to recreate a feeling that's kind of gone, or that doesn't need modernizing at all. These old games still feel great, as does Quake 2. Quake 2 is probably my favorite one of the series. Quake 3 was fantastic. Quake 1, not so massive a fan of. I guess I just sort of missed it at the time. Well, Quake 2 is really the one that I started to play so much online gameplay with, and I think it's got a really good single-player campaign. Great that all these games are pretty much available on Steam now. But as soon as I got the Game Boy Advance, I had to get Doom to go with it. But yeah, the backlit screen and everything on it is just superb, and I'm really looking forward to doing an overview video of it soon, talking through a bit and showing how it looks. But as I said, it didn't capture very well for my gameplay. Anyway, I'll leave it there. This is Doom on the Game Boy Advance. Take care, guys. This is definitely worth picking up if you can find it for cheap.